Alan was a loving child. He was really good with family and children, older people. He was a good kid. Well, it was spring break in April '85, and it was his week to go stay with his dad. 18 days later, he was found in the Flint River. And initially, they ruled it an accidental drowning, even though he had some levels of some type of alcohol in his system. I started fighting right then, asking him, how did this get in him? I knew it was foul play from the moment I found out he was dead. And I wasn't going to quit till I got justice for him. Detective Pires, he's a godsend. He was the first person to listen to me, and right away he said it was murder. And he would prove it, and he did. He looked at the file and he found this name. So he calls me one day and he says, "Who's Kathy?" I said, "I don't know who Kathy is." So I think I better find who this Kathy is. Comes to find out, Kathy was actually an accomplice. She was actually there when they were poisoning Alan. And he found Kathy. She was in North Carolina, and he found her. And she told him the story. What happened on April the 12th? Well, she tells us that Alan was brought to the house by Rosalind, and he was in a state where he couldn't walk. He needed assistance. And he was brought in and put in a back bedroom. He was given Kool-Aid, and some liquid was poured into this Kool-Aid out of a little bottle that Montel had, that he poured it in there. And then he ordered her to go in there and scramble some eggs. And while she was scrambling the eggs, he poured more of this poison in Alan's eggs. And then he tried to get Kathy to feed him to Alan. And Alan wouldn't eat him from her. His stomach was hurting because of what they had already gave him. And Rosalind took the plate and said, "I'll get him to eat him." And Kathy left the room, and Rosalind was feeding him the eggs. And a short period later, Rosalind and Montel came out of the room with Montel carrying Alan in his arms, and he's unconscious. And they leave the house, and they stay gone a while. When they come back, their shoes and their pants are wet and muddy, and Montel told Kathy he drowned him. Jerry and them had put the case together, thought it was a really good case, took it to David Layton's office. A lady there by the name of Jennifer McKellar was going to read over the case, all the evidence that we had. And she told me within 6 weeks that they would, have arrest warrants out for these people. The day I got up and went to the prosecutor's office, thinking I was going to meet with David Layton, I thought it would be the happiest day in my life. I was going to hear the words that I've been waiting for over 20 years, that warrants were going to be issued for the people that murdered my son. I'm thinking, I'm finally getting at the end of this road. I'm finally going to get some justice for Alan. To be told, no. Well, once we got to the Attorney General's office, they took the same information that David Layton's office had and got 2 first-degree convictions. These people are now in prison for the rest of their lives. And now I sleep easy. David Layton shut the door on me every time I came down there. I have never been so disappointed in my life as I am with David Layton. David Layton is not the person for the Attorney General's job.